Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another awesome interview by Geek Vibes Nation. I'm your host, Tia, and I have with me, you may know him from Superhero Diaries, the awesome web series that we have been promoting on Geek Vibes Nation. He is the one and only Captain America, Joe Bach. How are you doing today?
Hello. I am doing wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. I should have actually asked, and I do this usually with my interviews, but I should have asked if that was the proper way to pronounce your last name. So I hope it was.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. You nailed it. Joe Bach. The amount of times I'll get Joe Bach, Joe, it'll be spelled an infinite amount of different ways. Some people who are a bit more in the German realm, they're like, Bach, and they really lay into it. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
you nailed it.
Awesome. I mean, I looked at it and I was like, for some reason, I'm envisioning Bach. So I'm glad that I got that right. But
yeah, you nailed it. You did great.
So, I mean, again, as I said before I hit record, it's so cool to be interviewing you because, I mean, to be honest, in the Marvel realm, Captain America is one of my favorite characters. And the fact that you are playing this version of Captain America who is maybe not the nicest is really funny to me. So I just want to kind of give you the floor to talk about your version of Captain America on this web series and like what inspiration you draw from when you're acting as him.
Yeah, so that was actually the real challenge of bringing this version of Captain America to life, because we all know him as this like stoic, very not quite uptight, but in that realm. And how do we make that funny but still bring that character to the screen? And so what Scott and I had kind of crafted was kind of a little fusion of, the Captain America we all know, but kind of also Jim from The Office, who is this, I'm sure you know The Office, but for those who don't know The Office, he's a prankster. He's still a genuine good guy, but he likes to play pranks. And I think that's how we really crafted it, so that this Captain America is, we saw the episode. He's a little on the douchey side, but it's because he likes pranks. It's not that he's a bad guy. He just likes to just goof around and poke people and just have a good old time. So yeah, that was the starting point. And then we just, as the improv kept going, we just really laid into that, and there we go.
Yeah, no, I mean, and also Captain America is, from the 1940s. He was like frozen on ice for 75 years. I feel the guy needs to let off some pranks every once in a while,
Absolutely. Yeah, I think he missed that part of his childhood. And, being frozen and being, the guy who always got picked on, I think, and this is where we definitely took some liberties, is he finally gets to be the guy who does the pranking, who does the little bit of bullying, but in a nice little playful way.
Right. Before getting cast in Superhero Diaries, was playing a superhero ever something that you wanted to do, or, did you grow up being into these characters?
I absolutely grew up with these characters. So when I'm not acting, I run a fitness business. So I've always had some type of physique, but what actually inspired me to start weight training to begin with was superheroes. It was superheroes. It was just, I thought it was so cool to be, a good personality, but also just a good, strong human being. And so that actually, once sports were over for me, when I was younger, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm done working out. And then I really laid into superheroes. Dragon Ball Z was a big influence for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah. I joke around all the time. I'm like, the reason I lift weights now is because of Dragon Ball Z and superheroes.
You wanted to be Goku, essentially.
That's exactly it. And so when the superhero franchises started, I was like, oh, I really hope they wait like another 10 years before they do Captain America. Then of course they did Captain America, and I was like, dang it. And then I was like, okay, maybe, because I'm a blonde guy also, I was like, maybe they'll wait another few years before they do Thor. And then they obviously cast that. I'm like, son of a bunch. I'm like, well, I can't win on this game. So when this opportunity came around, I found it on Actors Access, and I was like, wait, it's a superhero spoof? Absolutely, this is me. And so I sent my video in, and then no joke, within half an hour, they're like, can you hop on a call? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's always been a dream. And then when it was, Captain America, I was like, oh, done. I have no choice. I can't say no to this. What an opportunity.
And also in this, it's an opportunity for Captain America to get with Catwoman, which, I mean, is to me so funny because in the first episode, we have Batman crying over Catwoman, and Captain America, your character is so just like, okay, whatever. I mean, walk me through. I know that all of you guys it's a lot of improv and everything. So, I mean, did you just kind of improvise these lines and you were just like, I'm just going to be kind of douchey about the fact that Batman's super depressed that Catwoman doesn't want to be with him anymore and wants to be with me instead?
Yeah, so it was quite an experience. So we did have a slight bullet point list that we needed to hit. But working with Phil LaMarr, he was a godsend. I mean, number one, he's Phil LaMarr. Number two, getting to just play with him was just out of this world, the dream come true. So each take, what was so fun is we had our bullet points and we would just say, okay, great, let's just roll the scene and try something new. And we would do something new, and it'd be something completely different. And we shot my scene probably 3 or 4 times, each one being vastly different just to give options. And that's what was actually so fun about watching the edit, because I have no idea how they're gonna decide to tell this story. And seeing all the Batman scenes, Batman's side of that story for the first time, I was like, oh, that's so funny. But also, we had no idea what he was going to say. So I couldn't, you had to stay on your toes. And if you weren't listening, you got caught not listening. No, it was incredible. It was incredible. A lot of fun. Scott left us a lot of room to play and just be goofy.
That's awesome. And I mean, is improv something that you are really into, that you're very passionate about, or is this kind of a project that really allows you to sort of stretch your legs when it comes to improv?
Sure. So I will say that improv is not my biggest strong suit. I do appreciate a script, but I appreciate the freedom that comes from improv. So I've taken improv classes before, and my biggest experience with improv is I've in the past done a lot of children's theater and a lot of interactive children's theater. So I'm pretty used to, on the opposite end of the Phil LaMarr spectrum, instead of having a pro like him, I'm used to having like a 6-year-old child yelling something completely random, irrelevant as all get out. And you're like, all right, how do I spin this? Because we can't say no. So that's where I got a bulk of my experience with improv, was just little, children's theater. So yeah, it's been a good old time. A good old time.
And the recent episode that came out, Marvel versus DC, which is honestly great because that's something that, we as fans always kind of talk about, but you never really get to see that. So, yeah. I mean, what was honestly your favorite part of the latest episode?
Yeah, so my favorite part was honestly the stuntmen. They killed it. All caps killed it. When I was talking with Scott before I officially signed on, he's like, yeah, we're going to have this really awesome fight between Marvel and DC. And that sentence alone sold me. I was like, done. You don't have to say anything more. I'm there. And so with me being a physical guy, they were like, so can you do your own stunts? I'm like, yeah, I've done a lot of stunts before. I've done a lot of stage combat. Yeah, I can absolutely handle that. And then, fast forward a few days, like, oh, by the way, so we're getting a whole stunt team. And so initially I was like, oh man, I like doing my own stunts. It's the ego just going wild. But when we got there and these guys start doing their flips and stuff, I'm like, oh man, this is so much better than it would have ever been had I been that guy. No, so it was really working with the stunt doubles, and just watching them do their magic was just, for me, so satisfying. And it also, I was like, you know what? I'm going to, you know what, my stunt people, I'm going to let them do it because they're going to do it way better than I'm ever going to do it. So I am appreciative to them and just the fun that it was. The entire cast and crew was just so, so fun to work with. And especially on a day like that, that was just a long stunt day. So it was a lot of hurry up and go. We'd work for an hour and then we'd sit for an hour because our stunt double was doing the work. So it was just, I was so grateful to have a team that supported that and supported the fun nature of it. And we had no drama queens. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful to watch.
I mean, it just looks like so much fun. First of all, again, it's just this improv sort of web series. Everyone gets to play dress up, essentially. You get to kind of be in this world where you're imagining Batman and Captain America interacting. And so, I mean, it just looks like a great time. What was it like crafting that scene where Captain America and Batman have to confront each other?
You know what? That scene was kind of... Before we had done our take one, it was kind of like, all right, so here are your bullet points and go. And we're like, all right. And it was a collective, like, we don't know how this is going to go. So let's just be ready for anything. And so we obviously we hit record, we go, and we actually killed it the first time. And which just launched us all into this amazing energy to where we did it, probably 3 or 4 more times. And each time got a little bit better, got a little bit more specific. And it was just so much fun. And, Don, Batman, is just, the man's brilliant. The man's brilliant. He makes my job so much easier because he gets under your skin the right way as the character, which just makes my job easy. So I'm always grateful to have an acting partner who can play tennis, if you will. And the man hits that tennis ball really well. So I'm like, okay, let's hit it back. So he fueled me and we came out with a really fun scene.
Yeah, I mean, I got to speak with Don a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, his energy was great. And I mean, you could really tell that he loves playing this character and he loves this kind of back and forth. And we did mention your character in our interview as well. So, I mean, that seems to be just such this great aspect of the web series. So it's still going. We still have many weeks ahead of us. So, I mean, what can we expect from your character moving forward?
You can expect, I have to be strategic with what I say so I don't give anything away. You can expect a lot of fun, a little bit of sexiness, a lot of playfulness, a little bit of water, and just a lot of fun. You're going to watch the episode and you can't help but to smile.
That's awesome. I really can't wait. And I know you said, obviously, Chris Evans took the Captain America role. Chris Hemsworth took the Thor role. But, I mean, is there any superhero part on either Marvel or DC that you're sitting there going, all right, they haven't cast anyone for it yet. I want to play this character?
Good question.
I put you on the spot there right now.
Yeah, you did. How dare you? How dare you ask me a question? At this point, I know it's a very generic answer, but anything. I would be happy to play anything at this point. And it's not that I'm a desperate actor, by no means am I that, but it's fun. Marvel and, DC's catching up. But Marvel is just in such a killer place right now with their shifting styles a bit more to, I guess it depends on which show you're watching, where they're shifting to a little bit more of a comedic realm, which I really appreciate. I think it's staying relevant with just how the digital world is working in terms of how things are being cut, being created. And so there's so many opportunities. So at this point, I'll play the bad guy. I'll play the good guy. I'll play the janitor. Let's just play. Let's just play.
I always say that too. And I'm not even an actor, but I joke around and say if, Kevin Feige said, hey, do you want to play a barista in this one scene in a movie? I'd be like, yeah,
that's
cool.
Yeah, that's it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
That would be awesome. But Joe, before, I let you go today and everything, I mean, besides Superhero Diaries, what else should we look out for with you in it?
Oh, currently, well, if you have Hulu and Hulu with commercials, if you see a hot sauce commercial, you'll hear my voice, Cholula hot sauce.
That's a really great hot sauce.
Yeah, it's an amazing hot sauce. Yeah, it was one of those gigs when I booked it. I'm like, oh, I genuinely want to sell this because it's genuinely good.
Did you get a lot of free samples?
Unfortunately not. I joked around with that with my family. They're like, so they're going to send you a crate of hot sauce, right? And I told them, I was like, well, I'm going to save that for the next round of contracts. I'm not going to get too greedy too fast, but that'll be on the next one for sure.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I was going to say really quick, like a few years ago, I was working as a receptionist at a recruiting agency, and Cholula actually was one of our clients, and they sent a huge box of hot sauces. And I definitely pocketed a little bit more than I should have and didn't give enough to my coworkers because I was like, I really like this hot sauce. So
you know what? When it's good, it's good.
It's good, man.
And you know what? If other people don't act fast enough, well,
that's their problem.
It's hot sauce. It's hot sauce. It's not like it's $1,000. It's hot sauce. It'll be okay.
So yeah, so everyone definitely who's listening in, make sure that you check out Joe on Superhero Diaries. Also check him out on Hulu to see if you can hear his voice on the Cholula commercial. Where can people find you, Joe, when they want to follow your career?
Sure. So if you want to follow my career, please do. On Instagram, it's official_Joe Bach. So you can follow me there. Joe Bach under Facebook, Joe Bach on YouTube, just Joe Bach everything. Just Joe Bach everything.
Just Joe Bach, and make sure it's Bach and not Bach.
Correct, Bach, B-A-C-H.
But Joe, again, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I cannot wait to see the rest of Superhero Diaries.
Oh yeah, me too. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. Thanks, Joe.
All right.